Welcome back to another episode of Valuable Coins, where we dive deep into the world of numismatics, uncovering the most valuable and unique coins in the market today. If you're a coin enthusiast, collector, or simply interested in the incredible value of rare coins, you're in the right place. In today's video, we will explore two of the most fascinating and expensive United States coins currently circulating the auction market. First up, the 1945 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with D-Mint mark was struck at the Denver Mint, which produced over 266 million coins that year. It is part of the post-World War II era of wheat pennies, a time when the U.S. Mint was striking coins in huge numbers to meet the needs of a nation transitioning from wartime to peacetime. The coin being described here is said to have a red color shade, but is also in damaged condition with some scratches. These details tell us much about both its appearance and its market value. The year 1945 was historically important. World War II was ending, with victory in Europe in May and victory over Japan in August. During the war, the Mint had experimented with steel cents in 1943, but by 1944 and 1945, it had returned to copper alloy, using recycled shell casings from the battlefront. That gives these pennies a special connection to history. The very metal could have once been part of military equipment. The description of this coin notes a red color shade. In coin collecting, color is especially important for copper coins. Red indicates that the coin still retains much of its original mint luster and has not darkened fully to brown. Collectors prize red coins, and in higher grades, they can command significant premiums. However, in this case, the coin is also described as being in damaged condition with scratches, which greatly limits the value despite the red shade. Damage can take many forms. Dents, bends, corrosion, or heavy marks and scratches are one of the most obvious signs that a coin has lost its natural appeal. In terms of grading, a damaged coin cannot be assigned a normal grade, like fine, very fine, or mint state, because the damage lowers it below collectible standards. Even if the details are sharp and the coin has red color, damage and scratches prevent it from achieving strong market demand. Collectors generally prefer problem-free coins, and damaged examples are often considered filler coins for albums. As for value, the 1945D wheat penny in average circulated condition is usually worth about 5 to 15 cents. In very fine to extremely fine condition, problem-free coins might bring 25 cents to $1. Uncirculated red coins from 1945D can sell for several dollars, with certified gems in MS66 or MS67 red reaching into the hundreds at auction. However, a damaged example, even with some red color, falls well below those levels. In today's market, a damaged 1945D penny with scratches might realistically sell for about 2 to 5 cents. It is still worth more than face value, but its collector appeal is very limited. For perspective, one of the rarest and most valuable Lincoln cent errors is the 1944 or 1945 steel penny. A handful of these were struck on leftover steel planchettes from 1943, and they are worth tens of thousands of dollars today. But the regular copper 1945D cents, while historic, are very common and inexpensive in circulated or damaged grades. Even with its low value, this coin carries historical meaning. It was minted during the final year of World War II, and it may have circulated through the hands of returning soldiers, families rebuilding their lives, or children saving coins for small treats in the post-war years. Its scratches and damage may reduce its market price, but they also tell the story of decades of use in everyday transactions. In conclusion, the 1945 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a D-Mint mark, showing a red color shade but in damaged condition with scratches, has a modest value of about 2 to 5 cents in today's market. While collectors do not pay premiums for damaged coins, still holds historical interest as part of the wheat penny series and as a coin tied to the World War II era. Its true worth lies less in dollars and more in the history it represents. First up, the 1966 Washington quarter. Dollar without a mint mark is a coin that carries a story from a time of big changes in American coinage. Many people still call it a silver quarter because of its bright silvery color, but it is not made of real silver. The United States Mint stopped making silver quarters after 1964 because the price of silver had gone up too much. Starting in 1965, all Washington quarters were made from a copper-nickel-clad composition. That means they have a layer of nickel on the outside and a copper core inside. This change helped the mint continue producing coins without losing money on the metal content. The 1966 quarter may look silver, but it is actually made of base metals, except for a few rare mint errors that were struck on leftover 1964 silver planchettes. Those few accidental silver planchette pieces are very valuable and highly sought after by collectors. Your coin, described as having no mint mark, a large date, and being in damaged condition with scratches, was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. During this period, the Philadelphia Mint did not put mint marks on coins, so it is normal for your coin to be without one. The 1966 quarter was produced in large quantities, and there are no major varieties or special types for that year. The large date appearance is common for all of them. The damage and scratches on your coin show that it has seen heavy circulation over time. This means it was used in everyday transactions, passed through many hands, and likely rubbed against other coins, which caused the marks, worn edges, and flattened designs. The obverse side of the 1966 quarter features the classic portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan. On worn or damaged examples, Washington's hair details are faint, and the high points of his face, especially the cheek and jawline, appear smooth. The words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" may look faded, but remain readable. On the reverse side, the eagle stands with its wings spread, clutching arrows with olive branches below, a symbol of both defense and peace. In a coin with scratches or wear, the feathers of the eagle's wings are usually rubbed flat, and the lettering around the rim loses sharpness because your 1966 quarter is in damaged condition. Its value in today's market is quite low. The total mintage was huge, over 800 million coins, so they are very easy to find. In average circulated condition, a 1966 Washington quarter is usually worth only its face value of 25 cents. Even in fine or extra fine condition, its value rarely exceeds $1. Uncirculated examples with bright luster might sell for a few dollars, typically between $2 and $5. Only coins in perfect mint condition, graded MS66 or MS67 by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, can reach prices between $20 and $50. However, since your coin is scratched and damaged, it falls in the lowest category and is worth around face value. One special case that every collector checks for is the rare 1966 quarter struck on a silver planchette. If your coin happens to be one of those transitional errors, its value could be much higher. You can check this easily by weighing the coin on a precise scale. A regular clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, while a genuine silver planchette coin weighs about 6.25 grams. If your coin weighs closer to 6.25 grams and has a completely silver-colored edge without the usual copper stripe, it might be one of those rare silver errors. In that case, it should be authenticated by a grading service. Such verified transitional errors have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auctions. Next up, the 1956 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and with a mintage of more than 420 million coins. It is considered one of the very common issues of the late wheat cent series. By this time, The Lincoln cent design by Victor David Brenner had been in use for nearly half a century. And while millions of people carried these pennies every day, very few thought of them as future collectibles. Today, the 1956 penny is still widely available, but collectors consider its condition and overall eye appeal when determining its value. In this case, the coin is described as being in damaged condition, with some scratches, which plays a large role in assessing its market worth. Coins from 1956. Like many of the later wheat cents, were heavily saved. People often kept rolls or jars of these pennies, meaning that uncirculated examples are still easy to find today. However, circulated coins in poor or damaged condition are less desirable, since there is no scarcity to make them valuable. The description notes that this coin is in damaged condition with scratches. Damage can include deep cuts, corrosion, bends, or other issues that go beyond normal wear from circulation. Scratches are especially harmful because they cut into the coin's surface and can make it unattractive to collectors. While a coin with honest wear is still collectible in lower grades, a damaged coin is often considered only a filler $20,000 something that might temporarily fill a spot in an album until a better example is found. If the coin were simply circulated but not damaged, its value would be modest. A typical 1956 Philadelphia wheat penny in fine to very fine condition usually sells for about 5 to 10 cents. In extremely fine condition, it might bring 25 to 50 cents. Higher grade uncirculated coins, especially those with full red luster, are more desirable. Mint state examples generally sell for $1 to $5. And certified high-grade coins in MS66 or MS67 red can bring hundreds at auction. But those are the best of the best, carefully preserved over the years, because this particular 1956 cent is described as damaged and scratched. Its realistic market value is quite low. In today's market, such a coin would likely be worth about 2 to 3 cents, just slightly above face value. And in some cases, dealers may not pay more than a penny for it because of the damage. Collectors tend to pass over damaged coins unless they are rare dates or error varieties. And 1956 is not considered scarce. It is important to note, however, that every coin has historical interest, even if it lacks high monetary value. This penny was minted during the mid-1950s. It's a period of post-war growth and prosperity in the United States. It may have been used in diners, gas stations, candy shops, or movie theaters, circulating through the everyday economy of the era. Its scratches and wear show that it served its purpose in commerce for decades before ending up in a collector's hand. Next up, the 1974 Washington quarter dollar. Without a mint mark is an interesting coin that often confuses people because of its shiny silver-like color. Many assume it is made of silver, but in reality, the 1974 quarter was not struck from silver for general circulation. By 1974, the United States Mint had long stopped using silver in regular quarters. The last year of silver content in Washington quarters was 1964, starting in 1965. All regular quarters were produced from a copper-nickel-clad composition, meaning they consist of a pure copper core with outer layers made of nickel. This gives the coin a silvery appearance, but it contains no actual silver unless it happens to be a rare error struck on an old 90% silver planchette. Your coin, described as having a large date, no mint mark, and being in good condition with some scratches, was minted at the Philadelphia Mint in 1974. Philadelphia did not use a mint mark on its coins, which is why your quarter appears without one. The term large date refers to the size of the date on the coin's obverse. But for the 1974 issue, all quarters have a uniform date size. There are no known large or small date varieties. The appearance of a large date is often due to the wear or boldness of the strike. Since your coin is in good condition, it shows clear signs of wear from circulation. The high points of the design are smooth. The fine details are faint, and scratches are visible across its surface from years of handling and contact with other coins. When it comes to value, the 1974 quarter without a mint mark is a common coin. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 801 million of them, making it one of the most plentiful Washington quarters of the 1970s. Because of this high mintage and the absence of silver, the coin's collector value is very low unless it is in pristine, uncirculated condition or has a rare error. In good circulated condition, such as yours, the 1974 quarter is worth its face value of 25 cents. In slightly better grades like fine or very fine, it might sell for around 30 to 50 cents. Uncirculated examples with sharp details and bright luster can bring $1 to $2, while certified high-grade coins graded MS66 or higher by PCGS or NGC can sometimes sell for $10 to $30. However, coins with scratches or visible damage remain in the lowest value range. There is one exception that would make a 1974 quarter far more valuable: a rare transitional error. Occasionally, coins were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchettes from earlier years. These rare mistakes can be identified by their weight and color. A regular clad 1974 quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams, while a true silver quarter would weigh around 6.25 grams. You can check this by weighing the coin on a digital scale. Another clue is the coin's edge. If you see a copper-colored stripe along the edge, it is a regular clad coin. A genuine silver coin would have a solid silver edge with no copper line visible. So far, there have been no verified reports of 1974 quarters struck on silver planchettes. But checking the weight is always a good idea, especially for older coins. While your 1974 quarter without a mint mark is not made of silver and does not have significant monetary value, it still holds a place in numismatic history. It represents the era of modern U.S. coinage, when the mint had fully transitioned away from silver and moved into large-scale clad coin production. Quarters from the early 1970s circulated heavily throughout the country, used daily in parking meters, vending machines, and stores. For collectors, even these common coins tell a story of America's economic adjustments and technological advances in minting. Next up, the 1958 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark was struck at the Denver Mint. And it holds an interesting place in American coinage because it was part of the very last year of the wheat cent series. In 1959, the reverse design was changed from the classic wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial, in honor of the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This makes the 1958D penny one of the final issues of a design that had been in use since 1909, with a massive mintage of more than 800 million coins. However, it is one of the most common wheat pennies, and its value depends heavily on condition and overall appeal. The example being described here is in fine condition, with some scratches, which puts it into the category of a circulated but collectible coin with modest value. The obverse of the coin features Lincoln's profile with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" at the top, Liberty to the left, and the date with a D mint mark to the right. The reverse carries Victor David Brenner's classic wheat ears, framing 1 cent and United States of America. By 1958, this design had become a familiar part of everyday life. And though millions of people use these coins daily, many also saved rolls and jars of wheat pennies as the series was coming to an end. That is one reason so many 1958D cents are available to collectors today in numismatic grading. Fine condition refers to a coin that has moderate circulation but still retains clear design details. On a 1958D in fine condition, Lincoln's hair and beard will show flattening. The lettering is still sharp, and the wheat stalks on the reverse will be worn but visible. It is not as sharp as very fine or extremely fine examples, but it is above the lowest grades like good or about good. Fine coins are common for later. Wheat pennies and are generally affordable for collectors. The coin in question also has scratches, which lowers its desirability. Scratches are considered damage, not natural wear, and they reduce eye appeal. Collectors tend to avoid scratched coins unless they are rare dates or important varieties, since they can easily find better preserved examples of common coins like the 1958D, even if the coin grades as fine for detail. Scratches push its market value down toward the lower end in today's coin market. A 1958D wheat penny in fine condition without damage might sell for about 5 to 10 cents. With scratches, the value realistically falls closer to 3 to 5 cents. This is a modest premium $750 value. But it reflects the coin's abundance and the fact that higher-grade examples are easy to find. For perspective, uncirculated 1958D pennies are far more desirable. Mint state examples often sell for $1 to $5. And high-grade certified pieces in MS66 or MS67 red can bring hundreds of dollars at auction. That dramatic jump in value shows how much condition matters for common dates. While a scratched fine coin is worth only a few cents, a pristine example can be a significant collectible. It is also worth noting that the 1958 date is famous because of the Philadelphia Mint's double die obverse variety. That extremely rare era coin, which shows strong doubling of the lettering on the obverse. It's worth tens of thousands of dollars. The Denver issue, however, does not have that same rarity. So the regular 1958D is valued primarily by condition and color, even though this specific coin has only a small monetary value, carries historical meaning. It was struck in the late 1950s during a time of rapid change in America, just before the wheat design gave way to the memorial cent. Coins like this circulated in diners, gas stations, and shops, used by families in an era when a penny could still buy a piece of candy or go toward a soda. Its scratches and wear show that it served its purpose in countless everyday transactions before finding its way into a collector's hands. Next up, the 1974 Washington quarter dollar with a D. Mint mark is a coin that often draws attention because of its bright silvery color. But it is important to note that the 1974 quarter was not made of real silver. By that time, the United States Mint had already stopped using silver in regular circulating quarters for a full decade. The last year of silver quarters for general circulation was 1964. Starting in 1965, all quarters were produced using a copper-nickel-clad composition, which means they have a pure copper core and outer layers made of nickel. This gave them a shiny appearance similar to silver, but with no actual silver content. The 1974 D quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, as shown by the small D mint mark located on the obverse side of the coin, just to the right of George Washington's ponytail. Your coin is described as being in fine condition with some scratches. That means it has visible wear from circulation, with moderate smoothing on the raised parts of the design, and some details are no longer sharp. Fine condition is a mid-grade level that still shows the main design elements clearly, but with significant flattening on the highest points. The scratches indicate that the coin has been handled and used over the years, perhaps in pockets or cash registers, leading to surface marks and small abrasions. The obverse side of the coin carries the famous portrait of George Washington, first designed by John Flanagan in 1932, to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth. On a 1974 D quarter in fine condition, you can expect to see wear on Washington's hair, especially around the curls and the top of the head. The word Liberty at the top and the motto "In God We Trust" on the left remain readable, but may appear slightly dull or faded. The date 1974 appears at the bottom, still clear and bold. The reverse side features the American bald eagle, standing proudly with its wings outstretched and perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below. This design symbolizes both strength and peace. On your coin, the eagle's feathers are likely smooth, and the fine details in the wings and tail are no longer crisp. The inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus, unum, and $quarter can still be seen clearly. Though the surface luster has probably dulled from circulation, in terms of rarity and value, the 1974D quarter is a very common coin. The Denver Mint produced over 353 million of them that year, meaning they are still easily found in circulation today. Because of this high mintage, even coins in decent condition do not hold significant collector value. In fine condition, a 1974D quarter typically trades for its face value of 25 cents. In extra fine or about uncirculated condition, it might bring slightly more, around 30 to 50 cents. Uncirculated examples with bright original luster and few marks can be worth $1 to $2, while high-grade mint state coins certified by professional grading companies can sell for $5 to $10. Only the most flawless pieces, graded MS-67 or higher, may reach prices around $20 to $40 at auctions. But those are rare quality examples. There are no major errors or varieties associated with the 1974D Washington quarter. Although some collectors do look for a minor strike doubling or off-center strikes, which can increase value slightly. Occasionally, counterfeiters try to plate 1974 quarters in silver or other metals to make them appear more valuable. But these are not genuine silver coins. The best way to confirm whether a quarter contains silver is by checking its edge. If you can see a copper-colored stripe running along the edge, that means it is a regular copper-nickel-clad coin. True silver quarters, like those from 1964 and earlier, have a solid silver edge with no copper line visible. If you weigh your coin, it should come out to around 5.67 grams, which is the standard weight for all clad quarters. A real silver quarter would weigh closer to 6.25 grams. If your coin matches the lighter clad weight, it confirms that it contains no silver content. There are no known 1974D silver quarters made by mistake. So any that appear silver-colored are just regular clad coins. Next up, the 1946 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with an S mint mark is one of the post. World War II issues struck at the San Francisco Mint. By this time, the wheat cent had already been in production for nearly 4 decades, and millions were being produced every year. In fact, the 1946S had a mintage of over 198 million coins, making it fairly common among collectors today. The obverse shows Lincoln's profile with the inscriptions "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date 1946 with the small S mint mark beneath it. On the reverse, the familiar wheat ears frame the denomination and the words United States of America along with E pluribus unum. At the top, the example described here is in good condition, with a red color shade but also showing some scratches from circulation. In numismatic terms, a good grade means the coin has heavy wear, but the main details of the design are still visible. Lincoln's outline will be present, though his hair and facial details are worn smooth. On the reverse, the wheat stalks are faint and the lettering may be weak, but everything remains readable. Since this coin still retains some of its original red shade, it suggests that it once had stronger mint luster. But circulation and dirt have muted its shine. The scratches and dirty surface further reduce its appeal to collectors, because marks of damage are less desirable than natural wear. In today's coin market, a 1946 S wheat penny in good condition generally carries only a small premium above face value. Typically, such a coin would sell for around 5 to 10 cents, depending on eye appeal. The scratches and dirt mean it would likely trade closer to the lower end of that range, perhaps about 5 cents. Collectors usually seek higher grades of this date, since better preserved examples are readily available. To put it in perspective, The 1946S in very fine or extremely fine condition can bring around 25 to 50 cents. In uncirculated grades, it becomes much more attractive, often selling between $200 and $500 when certified in high mint state grades, like MS66 or MS67 red. Values can soar into the hundreds of dollars, especially for coins with vibrant luster and clean surfaces. That shows the huge difference condition makes in the value of even a common wheat cent. It is also important to understand the historical context of this coin. 1946 was the first year the U.S. Mint returned fully to using copper and cents after the steel pennies of 1943 and the shell-case bronze alloy of 1944 to 1945, which recycled metal from wartime ammunition shells. The 1946S was struck in the standard bronze alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, continuing the long tradition of wheat cents until the design change in 1959. So, while not rare, the 1946S represents the post-war return to normalcy in American coinage. Next up, the 1941 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and it represents one of the very common issues from the early 1940s. More than 887 million of these coins were produced, which means it is not a rare date by itself. However, like all wheat cents, it carries historical value and collectible interest, especially because it was minted just before the United States entered World War II. The obverse shows the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" at the top, Liberty to the left, and the date 1941 to the right. The reverse features Victor David Brenner's classic wheat ears framing the denomination. 1 cent and United States of America with E pluribus unum at the top. The example being described here is a coin with a red color shade, which originally would have indicated some of its original mint brilliance when new. Unfortunately, this coin is also described as being dirty and having scratches, which reduces its attractiveness. The red designation in coin collecting is usually reserved for uncirculated cents that retain their bright copper luster. In this case, while some reddish tone may remain, circulation and dirt have dulled its appearance. Scratches are considered damage and not just normal wear, so they further lower its market value in terms of grade. The coin is described as being in dirty, circulated condition with scratches, so it would fall into the category of good to fine condition. In such a grade, Lincoln's profile is worn down. His hair and beard details are flattened, and the lettering is clear but lacks sharpness. On the reverse, the wheat stalks would be worn, though still visible, and the surface overall would look dark or spotted because of dirt and scratches. On today's market, a 1941 Philadelphia wheat penny in this type of condition typically sells for around 5 to 10 cents. Since this coin has scratches and a dirty surface, its value is on the lower side, likely closer to 5 cents. This is because collectors can easily find better preserved examples of this date. In fact, many 1941 cents were saved in rolls and jars, so there is an abundance of higher-grade coins available. For comparison, a 1941 penny in very fine or extremely fine condition can sell for around 25 to 50 cents. In an uncirculated condition, the value usually ranges from $500 to $700 depending on eye appeal. The most valuable examples are high-grade certified red coins, which can reach hundreds of dollars at auction when graded MS67 or better. This demonstrates how much condition affects value, even for common dates like the 1941 cent. From a historical standpoint, the 1941 wheat penny is interesting because it was minted on the eve of a major global shift. By December of that year, the United States entered World War II after the attack on Pearl Harbor, and coinage materials soon changed in the following years to accommodate wartime needs. Just 2 years later, in 1943, the Mint issued steel cents to conserve copper for the war effort. In this way, the 1941 penny reflects the last years of full copper cent production before the wartime adjustments. Though the coin in dirty, scratched condition has only a small dollar value today, it still carries significance as part of America's coinage story. It circulated during a time when a penny could still buy a piece of candy, a postcard, or contribute toward a daily newspaper. Collectors often enjoy holding even low value wheat cents because they serve as a direct connection to the past. In conclusion, the 1941 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, in dirty, circulated condition with scratches but retaining some red color shade, is valued at around 5 cents in today's market. While not rare or expensive, it is still an appealing collectible for anyone interested in building a wheat penny set or preserving a piece of American history. Next up, the 1985 Washington quarter dollar with the P mint mark is a coin that many people often mistake for being made of silver because of its shiny color. But in reality, it is not a silver coin. By 1985, the United States Mint had already been producing non-silver quarters for 20 years. The last circulating silver quarters were minted in 1964. Starting in 1965, all regular quarters were made with a copper-nickel-clad composition, meaning the coin has a pure copper core covered with layers of nickel on both sides. This mix gives it a silver-like look, but there is no real silver in it. Only special proof coins made for collectors in certain sets contain 90% silver, and those are clearly labeled as such. The 1985 P quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is represented by the P mint mark located on the obverse. Just to the right of George Washington's ponytail, your coin is described as having a large date, being in dirty condition and showing some scratches. All 1985 quarters have the same size date, as there are no official large or small date varieties for that year. The dirt and scratches are a result of long-term circulation. Coins that have been used for many years naturally pick up grime, small cuts, and wear from being exchanged countless times. In this condition, known as dirty or circulated, most of the original shine is gone, and the fine details are faded. Scratches or marks may appear across the coin's surface, often caused by contact with other coins or rough handling. In terms of value, the 1985 P quarter is considered a very common coin. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 775 million quarters that year, which means there are still millions of them in circulation today. Because of this extremely high mintage and the lack of silver content, circulated coins like yours hold very little collector value. In dirty or scratched condition, your coin is worth its face value of 25 cents. In slightly better grades, like fine or very fine, it might sell for 30 to 50 cents if it has less wear. Uncirculated examples with bright luster and no scratches can be worth $1 to $2. And coins in certified mint state grades such as MS66 or MS67 can reach $15 to $30 in auctions, depending on their condition and eye appeal. There are no major varieties or rare errors for the 1985 P quarter that would make a circulated coin significantly more valuable. However, collectors sometimes search for small, striking errors, such as off-center strikes, doubled dies, or missing letters, which can increase the value slightly. If your coin appears normal and has only dirt and scratches, it falls within the standard circulation category. Some people also check the edge of the coin to see if it might be silver. But you will notice a copper-colored stripe running along the edge of your 1985 quarter. That stripe is the exposed copper core of the coin and confirms that it is made from copper nickel clad, not silver. If it were made of real silver, the edge would appear solid silver with no copper visible, and the coin would weigh about 6.25 grams instead of the standard 5.67 grams for clad quarters. The only 1985 quarters that contain silver are special collector versions from proof sets made in San Francisco, which carry an S mint mark instead of a P. Even though your coin's monetary value is low, it still carries a bit of history. The 1985 quarter represents a time when the Washington quarter had already become a familiar part of American daily life, used across the country in stores, parking meters, and vending machines. Its design had stood the test of time, remaining unchanged for decades, and symbolizing both national pride and tradition. For coin collectors, even common pieces like this one tell a story about the production and circulation of U.S. currency during the 1980s. If you wish to keep this coin in your collection, avoid cleaning it, even though it appears dirty. Cleaning often leaves scratches and can remove the original surface layer, reducing what little collectible value the coin has. It's better to leave it in its natural state and store it in a protective holder or coin album to prevent further wear. In summary, your 1985 Washington quarter with the P mint mark, large date, in dirty condition with some scratches, is a regular copper nickel-clad coin, not made of silver. Its value in today's market is about 25 cents, though uncirculated or high-grade examples can bring $40,000. While it may not be valuable in terms of money, it remains a small piece of American history that reflects the enduring legacy of George Washington's image and the nation's minting craftsmanship.